Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Taylor. Today we're going to be doing another apple recipe because I have so many apples. So this time we are going to be making apple chips. So think of a potato chip but made out of apples. That's what we're going to be doing today, okay? So you're going to need quite a few apples if you want, I guess, like a family size bag type of situation. I've got 2 of these. I'm going to be making a lot, so I'm going to be doing half of the batch with no seasoning, and the other half is going to be like a cinnamon sugar type of situation. First thing you're going to need to do is we're going to need to turn the oven on. It shouldn't take too long to preheat because it's a very low setting, but we are going to put it on bake. And then you're going to drop it down to 200. If you do not do Fahrenheit type of thing, if you have like a Celsius oven, I'm going to put up here what it would be in Celsius. I'll do the conversion. So we get it to 200. Going to get that preheated, and then we're going to move on to preparing the apples. Of course, apron. Let's get our apron on. Something I've been thinking about doing is adding pockets to this. You know, I had an apron once that I had made that had pockets on it, and it was great, and I loved it. So let's get our apron on, and get out your cutting board, get out a knife, and get out your apples. And be sure before you do anything else to go ahead and wash your apples really well, rinse them really well with warm water, and remove the stick. Okay, you're going to need parchment paper. Do not use wax paper. The issue I have with wax paper, especially when something is hot, is the wax melts. And then you're going to have wax coated food. It's not good. So use parchment paper. You're going to get out a baking sheet. The one I'm going to be using today is this one. This is stoneware, but you can use metal. Either way, it's going to be covered in the parchment paper, and then it's going to go into the oven. It doesn't matter which it's on. Okay, so we got our cutting board. We got our knife. I've got my apples here all washed. Alright, and so what we're going to do, it's fairly easy. You're cutting them this way. So you see where the stem is? Turn it over on its side, and you're cutting it this way. And you want to do thin slices. Oh, that one's a little too thick. And it flew. That one's definitely a little too thick. You want them to be almost paper thin, if you can. So I'm showing you how to do it with a knife. You see how that's kind of translucent? You want it to be thin. I'm going to pull out my mandolin food slicer and show you that one. Okay, here is my mandolin food slicer. This one I think is Pampered Chef brand. No, it is not. It is not, but it is very old. But it still works. Be very, very careful. The one thing I recommend if you're going to be using this is get nitrile gloves. Nitrile gloves are the ones, they're like a doctor's gloves where it's a lot harder for them to be cut through. Otherwise, go very slow, especially when you start getting to the top, and you're just gonna slide it, and you're gonna get your nice paper thin guys. Either or, whichever works for you. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one apple done, and then we'll go over to the sheet. Remember, the apple seeds are poisonous. If you have an apple core, I used to, but I don't know where it's at. But if you have just the apple core where it just goes through the center, it kind of looks like a tube, like a metal tube. And you push it down and it goes through just the core and takes the core out. Makes it a little bit easier. Once you do that, then you can sit and do this. If you don't have nitrile gloves, just when you start getting to the end, just be very, very careful and go very slowly, because this will 100% take your skin off. I had it happen to me once. Let's see if we can get one more out of this. Okay, that piece isn't good, so we're gonna set that. Actually, we're gonna get rid of both of those. So now that I've got all my slices, we're gonna go over to the baking sheet and set them out, and then I will show you what to do. Okay, we're over here at our baking sheet. We are preheated over here on the oven. What we are going to do now is lay the apples out. What you're gonna wanna do is do as many baking sheets as you can. Sorry, that was the fish tank. Do as many baking sheets as you can. It takes 1 hour for one side. So we're gonna lay them out, and you're gonna do 1 hour for one side. After an hour, flip them and do another hour. So it takes 2 hours. So do as many baking sheets as you can. So what I'm going to do is, I have a pre-mixed thing of cinnamon and sugar. I do the same thing for my pumpkin seeds, but I've got a pre-mixed one. I just do like equal parts cinnamon, nutmeg, and sugar. That's what I do. You're gonna want to get out a plate, or if you've got a bowl, because I'm gonna show you, we're gonna do one baking sheet plain, and then the other one the cinnamon sugar. We're gonna take and we're gonna pour some out onto our plate. And then, just so that you can see, we're going to take a slice that doesn't have any of the core in it. Take it and just coat it. Set it on your baking sheet. And that is it. Let's go ahead and get as many apple slices done on the baking sheets as possible and get them in the oven. If you have a little bit of core that you don't feel comfortable with, take your knife and just kind of make like a circle around it. Keep going the wrong direction and cut it out. So you're just kind of going like this around the little area to cut it out. And that's about it. It's fairly soft, so. And it does not have to be perfect at all. At all. Get them on your baking sheet. Let's go ahead and get these guys going. Okay, because the apples are super soft, I'm gonna try something. I've seen people do it before with like other fruits. I'm gonna try to use the end of the straw and like go down into it, and let's oh no, that oh yeah, okay, we're learning together today. So look, so all I did was take the straw and go like this, and I like twisted it and pushed it down and pushed it through, and then I just to get the piece out into my rubbish pile. Okay, we're gonna do this now. Sometimes if you don't core the apple before you use the mandolin, you'll get like these little pieces of seed. If you feel like you got a lot of pieces of seed, just come over to your sink, rinse it, set it down. Easy. Okay guys, I'm just gonna show you. Here's cinnamon and sugar. Here's the plain. So let's go ahead and get them in the oven and get them out. They should be nice and crispy. When you take them out of the oven, you're gonna let them sit for 30 minutes till them kind of cool off. That kind of also helps them crisp a little more as well. But they should be good. And then I have done these before. I've even done different flavorings and stuff, so kind of experiment with it. You know, if you just want sugar, put sugar. If you don't want cinnamon and you only want nutmeg, do it. Also, like with the applesauce, allspice or pumpkin spice to kind of change the flavor up a little bit. But kind of experiment with it, you know? Do a couple slices in a different flavor. Just remember which is what flavor. And when it comes out, taste it and see if you like it. If you like it, go for it. If you guys have any suggestions for future videos, comment them down below. But at the end of this video, when these guys are done, I'll show you all pictures of them and let you know how they turned out. They usually turn out pretty good, but I'm going to be doing very large batches of these because I've got 2 bags of apple in these 2 baking sheets. That's just 1 apple, and I've got at least, I'd say at least 15 apples that I'm doing, just so you know. They do get nice and thin. They get a little bit thinner, nice and crunchy, but hopefully your guys' turns out really well as well, and let me know how your guys' turns out. Alright guys, I will see you all next time. Bye. Hey guys, this is at the halfway point. This is what they're looking like. So now I've got my tongs and we're gonna go ahead and flip them over. It's super easy. Just take them. Just take your time with it and flip them over. And once they're all flipped over, push it all back in. 1 more hour. Really quick, that 30 minutes, I completely had a brain fart. That's, you're leaving it in the oven, so you're turning the oven completely off. You're turning off the baking and everything, and you're leaving it in the oven for 30 minutes. If it's not crunchy, turn it back on. So let's say you get to the end of this, and it's not crunchy enough for you. You don't think it's like a crisp or like a chip. Then leave the oven on and do 15-minute increments for that. If they are crunchy enough, turn everything off, let it sit for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you can take them out, put them in a bag, store them, and then you should be good. I've still got 40 minutes left on the first batch, so we will see.